CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Are you ready if disaster strikes? And what would you do if you were involved in a large-scale emergency and you couldn't leave your home for days? Do you have everything you need to survive? Ready Georgia is a statewide campaign designed to educate and empower Georgians to prepare and respond to any emergency. Good morning to you and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm your host, Adam Murphy. GEMA, Georgia's Emergency Management Agency, wants to prepare citizens just like you to maintain self-sufficiency for at least 72 hours following an emergency. On the program this morning, we have Lisa Janik Newman, who is here with us, the Public Information Officer at GEMA. Thanks for being on the program.
Good morning, Adam, and happy National Preparedness Month.
There you go. And there is the tie-in right there, why we need to talk about this. Why is it so important, Lisa, to get the word out?
Well, nobody likes to think about emergencies and disasters, but unfortunately, they're all too common here in Georgia. We have everything from tornadoes, flooding, hurricanes, but it doesn't have to be a large-scale disaster. Your life can be impacted by a broken water main pipe or even a fire. So fortunately, you can prepare for all of them the same way.
Yeah, and like you said, you don't want to think about it, but at the same time, you want to be prepared in the event. And so let's talk a little bit about that. What should people do? What's like the first step to begin to be prepared for something that's unforeseen?
Well, the first thing you want to do is stay informed. It's so important to make sure that you have a way to receive alerts no matter where you are. So if you're at home, if you're at work, if you're on the go, you want to stay weather aware, you want to pay attention to what the skies look like, and you want to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings. So you can do that by downloading our Ready Georgia app. A lot of counties have their own warning system, so you can check that out and sign up for your county warning system. And also you want to make sure that you have a NOAA weather radio that will wake you up in the middle of the night. And those will give you about 15 minutes to take cover in your safe place if there's a tornado threat, for instance. And of course, your safe place is your basement or an interior room without windows.
I was wondering about that, Lisa. I wondered if the Ready Georgia app replaced the weather radio, but it doesn't sound like that. You still should probably have both.
You want to make sure that you have redundant ways to get your alerts. So if you have your Ready Georgia app in your cell phone and you're sleeping, you might leave it in the other room. You want to make sure you have a way to wake up, something that will alert you, and no weather radio is really loud. And unfortunately, over 70% of Georgians don't have one, and they're so easy to get and just as important as a smoke detector. And you can buy them. They start about $30. You can get them at any electronics store, any big box retailer, even grocery stores have them.
And here in the Southeast, we're prone to a lot of severe weather. We also do get hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that can happen. And we're in the heart, right, of hurricane season at the moment.
Exactly. We are nearing the peak of hurricane season, and a hurricane doesn't even have to make landfall on Georgia to impact us. We recently had the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and a lot of people, of course, know what havoc that hurricane wreaked on the Gulf Coast. But what a lot of people don't realize is that that storm brought 18 tornadoes here to Georgia. So unless you might not think about it unless it personally impacts your life, but that's not the time to think about it. You want to prepare now before something happens. It'll enable you to weather the event and recover easier.
And so, okay, we've talked about having the app. We've talked about having the weather radio. Is there anything else we should have? Supplies. What kinds of supplies are good to have around the house?
Sure. First, I want to talk about, the importance of having a communication plan as well.
Okay.
This is so critical for people. Everybody thinks they're going to be together when a disaster strikes, but you may be at work, your children may be at school, and if power lines are down and cell phone towers are down, how will you reconnect if your power's out and your cell phone goes out? So you want to make sure that you have a plan. So talk to your family about how you would communicate. Texting takes up less bandwidth than making a phone call does, so consider that. Consider social media. Consider how you charge your mobile devices. So make sure to just sit down with your family, have a communication plan. And then you do want to have a ready kit of supplies in case you can't get out of your neighborhood for a few days because there could be a lot of trees down or roads could be flooded. So you want to make sure that you have a few essential items in your ready kit.
And you talked about charging your cell phones, and if your power is out, what a great point you've talked about here. You can buy those portable chargers, right, that they're online anywhere, and you can take them anywhere with you. You don't have to rely on plugging them in.
Exactly. You can just grab a car charger, plug it into your phone, start up your car, and it'll charge your devices while you wait. A lot of A lot of things now, they have a crank feature. So you can buy a flashlight with a hand because you don't even need batteries anymore. If you have a no-weather radio, a lot of times they have come with the crank features. You can charge up your cell phone and your no-weather radio at the same time.
You talked about the Ready Georgia app. What about on Facebook? Are you guys doing anything there as well?
Yes, we have a great, so if I haven't inspired you to prepare for disaster, and I hope that I have, but we have a great contest going on throughout September called No Power, No Problem. You can visit our Ready Georgia Facebook page. We have some of Georgia's top chefs who've prepared some very tasty recipes using only non-perishable foods and alternate heating sources. You can vote for your favorite and be entered to win some great prizes. Your own Ready kit, restaurant gift certificates. There's a lot of great prizes there, so check it out.
Is there a safety checklist or anything like that on the Facebook page as well?
Yes, you can visit our website at ready.ga.gov, download our app, or visit our Facebook page, and you can get a checklist of all the supplies that you would need to stay safe for at least 3 days.
Wow, fantastic. And who would have thought that it could be as simple as preparing, getting these supplies, and then rest easy.
Exactly, and a lot of people have these things already at home. They just haven't gathered them up into one spot. Or maybe you haven't talked to your family. You kind of know how you reconnect, but you never know until disaster strikes. We get calls all the time during a disaster from people asking us to do wellness checks on relatives in North Georgia, if there's a snow event, or if their children are in college, if they don't hear from them. And unfortunately, there's just not enough public safety officers to do wellness checks in a disaster. So talking to your family how you would communicate that you're okay is very important.
Lisa Janik Newman with GEMA, thank you so much. Great advice. Appreciate you being on the program today. We have more, obviously, coming up. We've talked about why you need to be ready in an emergency, but up next, we're going to walk you through it step by step, the items you need in your disaster kit. Don't go anywhere. Important information coming up right after this break.